Welcome to the Inside Track on Real Estate with the Dekker Team, and I'm Yetta Dekker.
And I'm Ken Dekker.
And together we form part of the Dekker Team, along with some other awesome realtors and support team, client care coordinator, a promise keeper, and a marketing specialist. And an IT guy, because we couldn't live without them.
Yes.
And so today we're going to talk about the most commonly asked question once again, and that's the market. What's the market doing? How's it performing year over year? And what specifically is happening? So we're going to talk about September 2014.
Yeah. So September, again, very similar to other months this year. Condo sales, 232 sales. That's down from 243.
Right.
In 2013, so not a huge drop, but the prices also dropped on average a little bit. 254, that's about a 1.2% decrease. And as a matter of fact, condo pricing in September, if you look at the month of September, it's pretty much the same price as 2011. So almost no increase in average price in September from 2011. There was some up and down, but 2011, pretty much the same price.
24 months later, right?
More than 24 months.
Oh yeah, that's 36 months later. Right, so in the last 36 months, a very little bit of shift. And we're seeing that, I think, in quite a few markets and quite a few neighborhoods. So you'll really want to get neighborhood-specific data. Right now we're looking at the whole of the Ottawa board and looking at the condominium market. And condominium, just for quick clarification again, refers to anything that has a traditional condo fee and a condo corporation number, whether it's a high-rise, a single family, or a townhouse.
And what I've also done is I've pulled some specific areas again, just to highlight a few different areas of what may be happening in the market.
Right.
Interesting enough, over 3/4 of the sales of condos in September were under 300,000. So quite affordable still.
Well, that's the idea, isn't it? Let's keep prices in Ottawa affordable. Right? Because whether you already own a home and you're moving to the slightly larger home or you're buying your first one, there's advantages in having the one you want to buy be affordable.
Right.
Right.
Now, what's interesting is also the inventory. Inventory continues to be high. We're 1,810 properties for sale compared to 925 5 years ago. So just around 100% increase. And yet that's better than it's been in other months, because if you've listened to our other shows, we've actually been at 148% of inventory. So nice to see that gap narrowing a little bit.
Right. Still a lot of inventory relative to the number of homes that are selling.
Yeah.
Now, of course, when you're looking, if you're a buyer and you're hunting for a property, it never seems like there's enough. And why is that when we've got twice the number of properties available with the same number of sales happening as of several years ago?
Well, it's the same old, when you have more to choose from, it's harder to decide.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
So as of today, 1,825 properties listed for sale. Over the last 12 months, this is in the condominiums only, 2,594 sold. So when you divide that out, that gives you 8.4 months of inventory.
Right.
So significantly into a buyer's market.
Right.
Overall.
Right. So just as a quick summary again, if you have 0 to 3 months worth of inventory, we are very strongly a seller's market. If we have 4 to 6 months worth of inventory, we're a balanced market. And if we have 7 to 9 months worth of inventory, we are in a buyer's market. And then if we're in an excess of 10 months of inventory, it would be considered a depressed market.
Yeah, so what's that really mean? It means if you're a buyer, there's lots of inventory and you're going to get a pretty good price. If you're a seller, it means you need to lead the market, because we're watching the condo market price slightly decline over last year. Not a lot, 1-2%. Those are not huge.
And that's just averages. So your home may be worth more than it was last year.
It may be, and it may be worth a lot less.
Right.
So we need to do that analysis, and then you need to lead the market. Because the condo market is going down slightly, if you price over what the last one sold, the gap between what they're selling at and what you're priced at will increase over time, as opposed to price going up and it catches your price. So we need to lead and be at the price the last one sold or slightly below, because there's so much inventory. If you need your house to be the next one that sells, you've got to market it, price it, and prepare it for the market so it is the next one that sells.
Right, because homes are still getting, I mean, we've still had multiple offers in the last few weeks. So it is still happening. It's just happening very specifically on properties that are perceived to be valued by the buyers. So condition, marketing, and price matters. And ultimately, the price is really determined by the buyer, not you, the seller.
Exactly.
Right.
So we're still looking at a tale of two cities, really.
Right.
When we switch over to the freehold, that's the ones that don't have a condominium fee associated with them. They may have a small association fee for a private road or something like that. There are, interesting enough, 901 sales. Very, very strong. That's the second strongest September in 5 years. There's only 1 month that was a few more than that in September. Yeah, so very strong September. Average sale price was $383 and change, which puts us at about a 3% increase from September of last year. Now again, averages, you have to average them over long periods of time to get a sense of whether the market's actually increased or not. And that doesn't mean that your particular home has increased that amount or less. So over 3/4 of those sales were $450,000 or less.
Right.
So we're getting up there at $450,000. That's a fairly significant price.
Right.
And yet 3/4 of the sales were under that.
Right. And the largest percentage was between $3 and $350.
Yes.
That's where the bulk of all freehold homes were.
Right.
Right.
And if you take into consideration, this is one of the problems with the condominiums. A condominium at 300 with a 2 or 3, 400,000, 3 or 400 per month,
or even
condo
150, right?
Means I can buy a lot more mortgage for that. For $300 a month, I can actually attain about close to $60,000. So that puts it very close to buy a freehold or a condo if you're in that 300, 350 range.
Right.
So interesting. That's why I think maybe the condominiums are starting to price themselves out of the market a little bit, and the condo fees have been escalating.
Right. They're continuing to increase. I've not seen them go down very often over my 25 years in the industry.
No, absolutely.
And then the next larger percentage of homes that are selling are actually between $250 and $300.
That's right.
So we've got the bulk of what's selling really sitting in that $250 to $350.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, 50% of the sales occurred between $250 and $400.
Yeah.
That's half of the sales. And what's that tell me? That tells me that first-time buyers are still driving our market significantly.
Right. Which is good.
It's excellent.
It's a very
It's
good
excellent
thing.
because first-time buyers buy houses from people who are moving up to other houses.
Right.
Typically.
Yeah, they typically do.
So that's good
And
news.
so inventory continues to climb.
Yep. 6,100 for at the end of September compared to 3,700 5 years ago. It's about a 65% increase. And of course, supply and demand, when we have more supply, it puts downward pressure on price unless we have a super increased demand. And demand's really been pretty level for the last 5 years.
Right. So the good news, I think, for all of us is the interest rates have remained low.
Yes.
Because it would cause us quite a bit of grief in a market that has oversupply.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
if
it's
the interest rates climb a few percent, it's going to make a significant difference in affordability of housing and may cause a correction in pricing. I think that's the one major item that could cause a correction in pricing. I don't think we're overpriced when you compare to other major markets like Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver.
Calgary.
We're still very affordable.
Yeah, which is awesome. So freehold, all categories as of today.
Yeah, 6,823 properties.
Have sold in the last 12 months.
Compared to, in the last 12 months, 12,000 sales. We have 6,823 for sale today. Over the last 12 months, from today back 12 months, 12,247 sales, which calculates out when you divide 12 into 6 and then multiply by 12, right?
Yeah.
For 12 months. it gives you 6.6 months of inventory.
Right. So we're still
just a
sitting
hair above.
in that buyer's market as a whole. And yet neighborhood by neighborhood, I can still give you lots of examples that will squash what we've been saying from a generalities perspective. And yet we've got to look at the general market. And then if you want specific information on your neighborhood, you'll want us to set up a sales in your area search, which can come to you every month or more frequently. However, we find most of our clients prefer to get it about once a month. And that simply lets you see what is going on in your neighborhood, your specific area, even can narrow down the style of housing or keep it more general depending on what you're using the data for. And you can store that, you can sort that, you can make notes to me on that, and we can continue a electronic dialogue or person to person or on the telephone, but it certainly gives you the data to really understand your neighborhood. So call us for that, and we would love to set that up for you. 613 860-4663, 860-4663, or you're welcome to send an email with a bit of description.
Say that really fast. Let me say it slow. 613-860-4663.
Or 860-HOME.
Yes, it does spell home.
Because we're all about homes. And so if you'd like that information, you can also send us an email at info@dekkerteam.com. And that's Dekker, no C's, double K.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So let's look at a narrower area. I took a look at Rothwell Heights, Beacon Hill, South and North. So a little section there. Now Rothwell is a little more pricey than Beacon Hill, but I clumped them together because they kind of fit together on the map. 47 active condos, 119 sold in the last 12 months, which gives us 4.7 months of inventory.
Right. So we're a balanced market.
Balanced
in
market.
the condominium market in the Beacon Hill, Rothwell area.
Yeah. And then I looked at, well, what's the average list price compared to the average sale price?
Right.
Average list price was $195,880.
Right.
And the average sale price was $196,315. They're pricing on average right at where they're selling. That's smart.
Yeah, it is smart.
And so therefore, one of the reasons they don't have a ton of inventory.
Right. And what's smart about that is, A, you're going to get a quicker sale. And often people will think that a quicker sale means less money. And in fact, it's generally quite the opposite of that. A quicker sale generally means more money.
Quite often.
Because the property is more excitable, or people are more excitable about the property when it is new to the market versus when it's been around for a little while. So you'll generally get the most you'll ever get for a property in the very beginning of the period that it's been on the market.
Yeah, first 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, 4 even in this at this time of year, right? 2 to 4 weeks.
Do you ever buy stale bread?
Yeah.
And what do you pay for that stale bread?
A lot less than I do fresh bread.
Yeah, okay. And it's the same thing with houses. When houses become stale, in other words, they've been on the market, people have been by it, they've seen it on the market a long time, and they actually get the sense, well, that person must be really motivated now, and so we're going to get a bargain on that house.
Right.
And it gets that stale.
And it does make the whole negotiation process that much more challenging because it is very easy for me to stand my ground when it's a reasonably new property in the marketplace, regardless of the price range, because presumably more people want it at that point. And they generally do. So if you're just joining us now on the Inside Track on Real Estate, I am Yetta Dekker and I'm with Ken Dekker, and we're talking about the market in September 2014. We did a bunch of general overview in the beginning of the show. If you'd like to listen to that or watch that, you'll want to go back. And if not, carry on, and we're going to talk about specific areas.
Yeah, so again, continuing on Rothwell, Beacon Hill, North and South, I go to freehold, 31 actives, 87 sold. So not a huge market, but 4.2 months of inventory again.
Which is awesome.
It's a balanced market.
We love balanced markets.
Now, interesting enough is the list price to the sale price is significantly different. And I think what that is the higher priced ones, maybe in Rothwell area, are not selling as quickly, or they're sitting there more. So the list price is $875.
Right, on average.
On average. And the sale price was $597.
Yeah, so just under $600,000.
Yeah, so there's probably more lower price homes selling, which are drawing down that average price.
Yep. And yet more of the higher end on the market. So if you're in that area and you want specifics for your style of house, your neighborhoods, even your street, we can get you all that.
Absolutely.
All you have to do is ask us for it, and we will make sure you have that very valuable information so that you can just stay abreast of what's happening in your specific niche of the market.
Yeah, then I went to Manor Park.
Right.
Manor Park, Linden Lee.
New Edinburgh.
New Edinburgh, that kind of Rockcliffe, that kind of higher end area close to downtown.
Right.
And to see what's going to happen there. And the freeholds were 59 active.
Right.
Okay. And the solds were?
98 for this year.
Okay.
Is that right?
So that's about 7.2 months of inventory.
Right.
Yeah, 7.2. So interesting enough, we move a little bit further west towards the downtown, and now we're into a buyer's market.
Right, and now we're also moving up in price range again.
Yes, we are.
Because our average here is just over 1.2 from a list price perspective, or really more like 1.3.
Yes.
Right, and then our selling price is just over 800 at 810,000. So a totally
But you know what the good
different
news
market.
is? The good news is if you're thinking of moving up in this market,
Yeah.
now's the time to do it. Because your lower price home is holding its own on pricing. The higher end homes are not holding their own as much.
Right.
And there's more inventory, more selection, slower to find a buyer in that price range. So it actually allows you to be a better negotiator. You're in a stronger negotiating position when you're buying a higher end home.
Right. Now, having said that, there are some of the higher end homes that we're barely negotiating on because they are in ideal condition, ideal location, ideal price, and there's still lots of buyers for that kind of property.
Yeah, you just
So
sold
it's-
one this week, I think.
Yeah, I did.
In
That
the
was kind of fun.
700 in the
yeah.
700
Yeah,
range.
which is not the high end. However, it's a nice price point, and you really, as long as it's got value, you don't have to negotiate a whole lot.
So in the condos, there were 26 active.
In that same area.
that
So
same
in the
area.
New Edinburgh, Linden Lee,
And
Rockcliffe.
there's not as many condos in that area, right?
Right.
And how many sold?
How many sold?
45, I think it was.
Yeah.
So that's about 6.9 months of inventory in the
Right.
condominiums in that area. Again, into the buyer's side of the market.
Yeah.
List was 423 and the average sell was 392. So very close again.
Yeah. Not quite as close as over in Beacon Hill and Rothwell.
Yeah.
And yet pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. So now Manotick. That's Manotick is an interesting conversation because Manotick has primarily higher priced properties. Mm-hmm. The majority would be in excess of probably 700,000 in Manotick.
Yeah.
And yet there is some affordable property, and near the end of the show I will get to feature 3, 4. I'll feature a bunch of great properties in and around Manotick.
That sounds good.
Because there's such a nice diversity in price range right now.
Yeah, Manotick's an interesting, quaint village. It has the beauty of quaint shopping. Almost, like I was walking downtown Manotick the other day and looking in some of the shops and going into the cupcake factory, bakery, and the gluten-free bakery, and different places like that, and eating in the small little Thai restaurant, very cute, authentic Thai food. And I really got a sense of, wow, we're kind of becoming like a Merrickville. We have that kind of attraction. People come to the downtown. They go and eat at some of the restaurants. We have some Ottawa famous restaurants right here. Not chain restaurants, but famous restaurants like the Black Dog and places like that. And so people are being drawn to Manotick.
And Miller's Oven.
There's Miller's Oven.
That's just so cool.
There's a lot of pubs and bars. And
Yeah.
you have the mill on the water, which is gorgeous. You have the water running through. We have Miller's Farm for pumpkins and all that sort of stuff. And so it's becoming very, very attractive. And yet pricing is quite interesting. So let's talk about that right now, because it is a fairly affluent area.
Yeah, it is.
And there were no condos listed.
Right. Well, there is only a few.
There's only a couple condos in Manotick. 2 have sold in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
I don't know how to rate what kind of a market that is when there's zero. I guess that's an extreme seller's market.
Well, I guess if you were looking for a condominium in Manotick, it would be an extreme seller's market.
Yeah.
Because there's virtually no inventory. When one comes up, it comes down. It gets sold.
Yeah.
So not much of a market there. So freehold, we have 148.
Active. Now that includes Rideau Forest,
Yep.
Manotick proper, and down to Carlton Golf and Yacht. So
Right.
we're covering a bit of an area here.
And 113 sold in the last 12 months, which means,
Ugly.
Right.
15.7 months of inventory.
Right.
And we live in Manotick.
And we do now.
And we love it.
We do. So the average price, though, is $996. So
Yeah.
basically $1 million is the average list price, with the average sold price right around the 630. So what's driving that huge inventory is the higher end of the market.
Yes.
Right? If you break it down, you'll notice that the homes and the properties in the 3s and the 4s and the 5s and the 6s are turning over much more quickly. In that price range, there is not anywhere near 15 months, 16 months worth of inventory.
No, and that would be an interesting thing to examine. I didn't do that.
And if you're interested, you know how to find out. You just have to ask us and we'll give you that information.
Yeah. So, interesting enough, 630 is still the average sale price in Manotick, which is not quite double the Ottawa average. So it's still a very affluent area, very pretty area, very quick access. And the nice thing is, since the new bridge opened on Strandherd, the bridge in Manotick the volumes dropped in like a third. So the traffic jams that used to happen in Manotick don't happen anymore.
No.
The properties that maybe back onto some of those roads or front them, it's not a big deal anymore because there's a little bit of traffic at rush hour, and the rest of the time there's not a ton.
No, it's really shifted a lot. So a few properties in Manotick for your buying pleasure or owning pleasure.
We have the whole range, actually.
We really do.
We have a whole gamut.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about a beautiful, beautiful one?
No, let's start at the bottom.
All right. So we have an amazing property that's just come into the market at $325,000. Double car garage, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, high ranch style, very original, so you can do with it as you would like. So
This
it's
is a
real.
beauty. If you like retro.
It's in great condition.
Yeah, you might like retro.
Yeah, you
Shag
might.
carpet and the green
Pink.
porcelain. And
Pink.
Stuff. Oh, it's pink.
Beautiful pink porcelain.
Excuse me.
But it really is in great condition. And we're finding these homes really do retain their value. And to get into Manotick in that $325 price point.
People are paying that for a townhouse in Barhaven.
Exactly. So it really is. I just sold another one in Manotick a few days ago in the 300 range, similar to this without the double car garage. And lots of people really wanted it because it's great value.
And it's
you
sold
really
in about a week.
Yeah, about a week. So you really are having great opportunities to own a single family home with lots of room on the outside and on the inside, really at a townhouse price.
Yeah.
And that's often who's buying the home, somebody that considered.
So if you want that one, you better
townhome.
pick up the phone. Call us at 613-860-4663. That one will not last very long.
No, it won't. And then we have an amazing 2-story that has completely been refurbished top to bottom. Stone's throw from Tim Hortons. Actually, not even a hike, just a quick walk across the street and easy access into the city and to all of the amenities, both of Manotick and the city of Ottawa and Riverside South, because it's just off of River Road. So great location there and beautifully appointed kitchen. Bathrooms have been redone. The floors have been redone. It's just a really nice 4-bedroom, 2-story, really pretty house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at $550, I mean, that's incredible. Well, it's below the average in
below
Manotick.
average. And
It
it's a
certainly
great
is,
home.
and it's a great home. And then another rather spectacular opportunity is a bungalow. So if you're in that season of life, or even you just prefer the bungalow style, then we have one at $625,000. Again, beautiful kitchen, just been redone in 2014. Bathrooms, 3 of them have all been redone in the last 12 months or so. Absolutely stunning and just easy access with everything available to you on the main level. Plus, if you want your grandkids to come or you want to hang out downstairs, it has 3 extra bedrooms down there, huge games room, play area, rec room, just a whole lot of space. And it's in Manotick Estates. I mean, who can beat that for location and price?
And it's on a little crescent that really, you're only going into that subdivision if you're going onto that. Like, kids can play on the road, no problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So another awesome opportunity. And then you have one that I know you want to talk about too.
Yeah, at $950,000.
Yeah.
This one is a backyard oasis.
Yes.
Beautiful pool area. They had the House of Canvas, I believe it was, did a beautiful canopy over a certain area in the backyard, which has access to that from the kitchen eating area or from the master bedroom. Excuse me. So you can come out of the master bedroom, enjoy a coffee on the patio, jump in the pool.
And easy access to the 416, just a couple of seconds or minutes, I guess, off the 416. So again, right close to Prince of Wales, easy access in that way. So amazing locations on these properties and beautifully appointed. Not very old, actually very recently built home, and it's absolutely
stone front,
perfect.
Garage, very large. And this one's a little unique because the master retreat is on the main floor,
right,
and the 3 other bedrooms are upstairs.
Right, we're seeing more and more of that in the building because it just gives you that main floor oasis with either the teens upstairs or younger kids for that matter as well. It works really, really well. So if any of those properties interest you, you'll want to give us a call. And if you have something you would like us to take a look at because you'd like us to market it for you, you want to reach us as well at 613-860-4663. And we're always looking for just the perfect guest to interview on one of our shows. If you can tie what you have to offer and what you have to talk about to real estate, education or real estate knowledge or anything that provides a service for those homeowners that own a great property, then we would love to hear from you and chat with you potentially on air.
Yeah, so give us a call for anything real estate.
Yeah, for everything real estate.
613-860-4663. That's 613-860-4663. We're looking forward to hearing from you.
And some email information, info@dekkerteam.com, or you can reach us at CHRI as well. And of course, all the archive shows, both video and audio, are at chri.ca as well as dekkerteam.com. Thanks for joining us on the Inside Track on Real Estate with the Dekker Team.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.